end of the day, Jake Rojas, if you walked in there and saw it on the ground, he'd pick it up and he'd throw it away.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? There's so many people that cook with the mentality that they're just a cook, and they stay just a cook.
Yeah.
If you're a cook and you want to be a chef, you put your mind in the mentality that you are a chef, and you do whatever needs to be done to make things right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
You walk into the walk-in at the end of the night, and some doesn't have the right label on it, or someone doesn't have a label on it that, some asshole didn't have time to and put it on there. You put the label on it because everything in the walk-in needs to be labeled.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You
do the right thing.
You look at the par stocks. You say, when there's one box of salt in the fucking dry store, you say, if you're not the guy ordering the salt, you say, hey, chef, we only got one box of salt, right? Can we get more salt? Like, just to make sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, those small things. And, of course, like, a lot of times the chef has it already. But you realize that if there's no salt tomorrow, you're going to the motherfucking store on the way in and picking up the salt. Or you're dealing with, you know what I mean? You have to deal with the fact that is like that. Or somebody else is doing it when you're trying to prep.
It's a series of anticipating needs.
Yeah.
From the guest down to, what I need to order, what is happening ahead of time. It's the hardest thing to plan for. And that's been the worst thing during this COVID thing. Because it's like the government will be like, shut down tomorrow. Like, give me a week, bro. Let me sell through my inventory.
Yeah.
Let me not worry about, I just ordered this much meat, you know what I mean? And then you told me I'm closed.
Yeah.
That's the biggest struggle that I think is happening right now. And I think, I was telling somebody the other day, I was like, just like in those countries that it's mandatory to go to the army for a couple years, I think you should go to the army for a couple years and then go work at a restaurant for a couple years. And humble yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Or maybe, dude, or honestly just go do the army thing. Because there's a lot of people that we meet in the restaurant industry who have worked in the army, and they come to the restaurant industry because it is so similar.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's militaristic, and that's the way that Tallulah's was.
Yeah. Not every place is like that.
No, and you don't, and I'm not saying also that you need to be that way.
Sure.
To be great, because there's people that are of a more calmer nature, of a more nurturing nature, that make it and are successful. Yeah. And I'm not taking anything away from that.
Absolutely.
But in the way that we learned, it was fucking militaristic. It was, this is how I want it, and this is how it needs to be every time. And the unrelenting standard of Chef Jake and Tallulah and Thames is what made us better chefs and cooks.
Yeah.
And what made us look at the importance of understanding where your mise en place comes from, just like you were saying before.
Yeah.
To how you played it. Because that was the coolest thing when we were there. We cooked the food, and then we turned around and played it. That was the best.
Dude.
Like when you step into the realm of 3 stars and like this kind of restaurant, other people plate the food for you.
Yeah, this is literally like David. Like, and this is also an interesting the idea of time management. And there's time management, and then there's time management to the second.
Yeah,
to look to your partner, who you have to complete this, to complete this plate, you need to be there at exactly the same time, and to have no seconds to spare. You say, when are we coming up? And if the answer is 4 minutes and 20 seconds, which it can be, 5 minutes and 15 seconds, you each have a timer. You hit that timer, and you better be up there in 4 minutes.
Yeah, that's
15
right.
seconds,
We do
dude.
countdown timers.
Dude, exactly.
That was the first time I'd ever done that. I was like, all right, we're going to call 2 minutes. We're going to count it down.
Dude, and to this day, I have that internal clock.
Yeah.
Where, like, dude, 6 minutes can go by, and I'll be like, I know it's been 6 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's been 2 minutes. And then what I do is I test myself against the clock.
Uh-huh.
If I have something to cook or whatever, and I'm just doing a little R&D, like I'll put the clock on it. And then I'll, be like, okay, it's time to take that out. And I'll go to the timer and it's be 4 seconds left, or 3 seconds left.
Love that.
And that training is unstoppable.
Yeah.
And that was all because of Chef Jake. Because that was the first time that I had worked in a restaurant where, now that I am seasoned, I know that this is the way they work everywhere, is the times on the tickets.
Yeah.
And just having that deadline and knowing that there is hell to pay if you don't have that food up on time.
Yeah.
And just seeing down the road an hour while getting your ass kicked, cooking, plating. That was the best training I could have probably ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to plate while you're basting meat.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Like turn around, get temps right while succeeding at that at the end of the night and having a great service. Like there is nothing like that feeling.
Dude, and the feeling and coming up to that, like I said, that when you're prepping that service and you're like, oh shit, I may not make this, and you have that anticipation in the gut of your stomach that just feels like an air bubble, and you're like, and you don't have time to think about it. You just have time to prep as fast as you can.
Exactly, and
then to feel that wash away as you get into the groove of service, and then to crush and then end your night, dude, no better feeling. Oh.
And the thing is, the stress happens in such a short window of time.
Yeah.
It's like 2 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
Of stress, of the hardest, most intense stress you've ever felt in your life.
Yeah.
Like, am I going to make it? Like, am I going to live? When you're wrapped up in that, that's the most important thing in your life.
Yeah.
Past anything. Literally the most important thing in your life.
And right now we're talking about cooking food.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're talking about
that's
cooking
it.
food. We're
just
not
cooking
talking,
food.
Yeah, we're not talking about saving lives.
No.
We're not talking about, the vast majority of things that people should be terrified about.
Yeah.
But still, when this is your life and this means the world to you, it's, like I said, that I'm sure there's a lot of other industries that get that same high off of that, that feeling and that, that anticipation, that fear, all that. And I'm, even within the industry, there's a lot of other, feelings that you're getting from it, but it's, you can't, and that's why people come back to cooking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why people come back. That's why people will leave the kitchens, and then that's why chefs that work in restaurants will leave because they're like, I don't want to do this. They go do something that's easier, and then they come back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Because they miss it.
Because they're not being challenged enough.
Yeah.
It's a challenging thing on so many levels, physically, mentally.
Yeah.
Just like, are you ready to take this on? It's incredible.
Anyway.
So you leave. We both leave that place, or actually I leave.
I left
did
first.
You leave before me? Okay, yeah.
I left first. I went down to D.C. Obviously,
you took over the other place, or you were sous chef there?
I was a sous chef down at D.C. Coast. That was really great for learning kind of the because as much as it's important to learn how to cook well, you do need to learn the business management side of it. And
I remember you were like, I need to learn the business side of this. I need to go.
And that was a really great place because it was so structured. And it had been, DC Coast was an institution. That restaurant was there. No longer exists, but 22 years, something like that. So, they had it dialed in. And to be able to just see how it all worked, you know what I mean? That was just, it was so helpful in my career. But, I, once again, working at that restaurant in DC, I kind of felt myself kind of once again slipping into that
comfortableness,
that just being comfortable.
Yeah.
And you're always, in any profession, you say to yourself, where am I in 5 years? Where am I in 10 years?
Yeah.
And, at the time I was 25 down there, and, I was like, fuck, man, I see myself 5 and 10 years from now still doing this in DC. And it's like, it's not that it's a bad thing. It's just, I wanted to travel more. I wanted to shake up my life a little more.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's when
you were growing out your hair during this time.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, longest my hair has ever been. But that's when you reached out to me.
That's right. Because I'm telling you, I got to the restaurant, and I had my time there, and I was just in it, and Tyler helped me out a lot, and then I go to the garden, and I look at the garden, and I'm like, Charlie needs to work here.
Yeah.
Because you were the only roommate I had until that time that had plants.
Yeah.
You just liked plants, and you were like, hey, my dad taught me how to garden.
He taught me how to garden when I was little.
Yeah, and it's a skill that you have, and you like it. You love it.
Yeah, that shit was dope.
You read books, like textbooks on gardening.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, man.
I'd be there watching wrestling, and you'd be fucking reading fucking gardening books.
Dude, you remember at Tallulah's? Remember the garden that I put on
Yeah,
top
man.
of the outside
And you
walk-in?
put exactly. And
Fuck
that's what told me, like, as soon as I saw that garden, I was like, Charlie needs to work here.
Yeah.
So I called you immediately, and I was like, hey, get your fucking ass out here right now. Stay on my couch.
Yeah.
You need to work here.
Yeah. And at the time, I was like, I can't do that. And then I was literally like talking to myself about it. I was like, Charlie, you're 25. You don't have kids. You don't have a girlfriend. You don't own a house. There's literally nothing keeping you here. I'm like, if there was a time to move to fucking California, and I'd never been west of New Orleans, I was like, the time is now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's out there. So I, packed up my car, or I gave, as you should always do, I walked in the next day and gave a 1 month notice to my chef.
That's right.
You know
Not 2 weeks, 1 month.
1 month.
Get it right,
30
people.
days.
Get it right.
You know what I'm saying? You give them 30 days to hire the new you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If that guy doesn't work out on day 29, it's not your fault. But if you give them 2 weeks and the guy doesn't work out, the first guy that they bring in doesn't work out,
that's your fault.
And well, no, if that guy doesn't work out, then and then you leave, you're kind of a dick.
Yeah.
But if they, that guy doesn't work out, and then they bring another guy in, it doesn't work out, and then bring another guy in, which they can in a month, that's not on you anymore. You know what I'm saying? So, in my opinion, they can always wait.
For sure.
As much as they're like, I need you fucking here right now. If they want you enough,
you got to do you, baby.
You give them 1 month. So I walked in the next day, I gave them a 1 month notice. 2 days after that 1 month notice, or 2 days after leaving that restaurant, I got in my car with my brother and drove out here.
That's right.
And
I think sometimes it's crazy because loyalty can be the biggest factor in your success, but can also be a detrimental factor of your success.
Mm-hmm.
If you stay somewhere too long because you think you have a duty to that place and you're not getting any better or learning every day, then you have made the wrong decision.
Yeah.
You need to move on and find something that really challenges you.
Yeah.
And I was so happy when you were like, yeah, I'm fucking coming out there with my brother. I was like, fuck yeah. Get to meet your brother. You had a great road trip, man. Tell me about it.
We stopped at
Benton's Bacon House.
Yeah,
right?
Dude, we used to buy so much bacon from Benton. And, that my last day, my last order.
You got me the shirt.
Yeah, my last order, I was like, hey, dude, because what's cool
it.
about Benton is, you call him to order bacon, and you're either talking to him or you're talking to his wife. And I was just like, hey, dude, I'm driving cross country. Can I stop by your spot and check it out? And he was like, hell yeah. Went out there, Tennessee, and did that. That was the other, you're working in a industry of people that like to move. They like to go to different cities.
Yeah.
So everyone spreads out. So a guy in that city that you can sleep on his couch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we did that. We drove through the South. It was great. 8 tons of wonderful barbecue. Met up with friends that I hadn't seen in years. And got out to California, man. Convincing Christine Kim, because this is how I came out to work on the farm, the restaurant in Meadowwood's farm.
Yeah.
At the time, I was pretty fried in the terms of cooking, and I didn't care about the restaurant. I had never been to a 3 Michelin star restaurant. I'd never eaten at a 3 Michelin star restaurant. I'd never eaten at a 2 Michelin star restaurant. I had eaten at some 1 stars in New York, but I